Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 10th April, Monday. The news items picked up from the Hindu are only 3, but the first one is covered in detail. This is States Pan Politicization of Governor's Role. So this is the news regarding the recent Standing Committee meeting of the Interstate Council. So Interstate Council is a constitutional body which has been set up. So presently the Standing Committee meeting was held after a gap of 12 years. So Interstate Council is headed by Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the chairman of this, is the chairman of Interstate Council. The Standing Committee meeting as such took place. Here the Prime Minister was not involved and this meeting was after a gap of 12 years. So here the discussions took place on the role of governors. And the Standing Committee was led by Home Minister Rajnath Singh. Even the Finance Minister Mr. Arun Jaitley was present and all the states were represented. So states chief ministers or a representative came forth for this meeting. So here the governor's role which was discussed was specifically in news because of the present governor's role in BJP formed governments presently in Goa and Manipur. So recently the assembly elections which took place in Goa and Manipur, BJP formed the government because of the role of the governor. It is emphasized because they were not even the single largest party. Still they were able to form the government. So there is a role for the governor, discretionary powers there. So those are on discussion. So there are two committees basically which you should know about. One is mentioned here, Punchi Committee and Commission, and another one. These are interstate commissions. So interstate disputes when they arose, the center-state relations. So center-state relations commissions are, one is this Punchi Commission, and before this the commission which was appointed was Sarkaria Commission. So these two commissions recommendations you should know about. So we'll see them too. So here it is also said in this meeting that the Punchi's commission on center-state relations which was there were considered at the meeting. So this is that governor should follow clear guidelines in the appointment of chief ministers. So there is a clear order of preference which is recommended by Punchi Commission. Because in formation of government, which political party or a grouping should be called to prove their majority. The governor has the discretion here. So that is there. So the commission has recommended, Punchi Commission, that the chief minister should be asked to prove his majority within the time limit before he is dismissed. So this is regarding removal too. So governors have the power that if the chief minister does not enjoy the majority in the house, then or there is such a demand, then the governor has the discretion. So this he says that time limit should be provided to prove his majority. So it says minimum 5 days to maximum 30 days. So this should be there within 5 days, minimum within 5 days to maximum 30 days. So this is there. And another point which was put forth by the states in this Interstate Council Standing Committee meeting was that there should be a cooling off period. Because we see bureaucrats and judges are appointed as governors by the center in various states. So these bureaucrats and judges are directly appointed. As soon as they retire, they are appointed. So this should not be the case. There should be a fixed cooling off period. Cooling off period means there should be a gap. Say 2 years, 5 years, and after that they can be appointed as governors. So this is a point. Bihar, the state of Bihar has said that the role of governor is redundant. There is no need for a governor. The post of governor should be abolished. So on this, the Home Minister and the Finance Minister have stated that the constitutional post should not be discussed as such of abolishing constitutional posts. So this has been dismissed by the government at the center presently. But this was also stated. Then Punjab also says that appointing the governor, there should be a role of the state government as well. Because governors are appointed at the discretion of the center. So they are appointed by the president as such and they hold office till the pleasure of the president. So governor, there is no specific procedure for removal. If the president wants, he can dismiss the governor, appoint a new one. So it's completely in the hands of the center. So this is the federalism with a strong center. Governor is a representative of the center in the states. So here one suggestion made is that states should have a role in appointments. So whether this should be accepted or not is another matter. So this was put forth. Then another is regarding granting prosecution sanction against the members of the Council of Ministers under section 197 of CRPC. So in this also Punchi Commission has stated because this prosecution sanction is given by governor. So it's Punchi Commission has also recommended that governor should follow Supreme Court interpretation. Yet governor is not bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers. So when Council of Ministers themselves are sanctioning prosecution is being asked for, then governor is not bound by the advice because of course they would not advise in favor or against themselves. So that is there. And one more point which is put forth is regarding deployment of security forces in states. So center can deploy security forces in states. So on that also, the 18 of the states have agreed to the suggestion of Punchi Commission that center must protect states from internal and external disturbances. So this role is important. The center's role is desired in this case. So this all was discussed, and now these recommendations of the standing committee would be finalized and will be placed before the interstate council, which is headed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi presently. So this is regarding that. Interstate council, you should know, it's a constitutional body established under Article 263 of the Constitution. So it was formed by a presidential order in 1990. It was on the recommendation of Sarkaria Commission. The first Center-State Relations Commission. Second one was Munshi Commission. So this is Interstate Council. It's been given constitutional status too. So it discusses or investigates policies, subjects of common interest and disputes among the states. So it's chaired by Prime Minister, Chief Ministers of all states, administrators of Union Territories or Chief Ministers in the 2 Union Territories, and even 6 members of Cabinet rank are members here. Then regarding the Sarkaria Commission recommendations, you can see here. So the key recommendations, this was established in 1983 to examine the relationship and balance of power between state and central governments in the country. So here the recommendations were that a permanent interstate council called Intergovernmental Council should be established under Article 263 of the Constitution. So this, as we saw, Interstate Council was established. Then Article 356, which talks of President's rule, it has said that it should be sparingly used and only in extreme cases. So this is another provision. Then residuary powers of taxation, it says, should continue to remain with the Parliament, and other residuary powers should be placed in concurrent list. So presently, residuary powers in all cases are with the center. So it says residuary powers of taxation only should remain with the center, that too with the Parliament, not the executive but the legislature. And other residuary powers should be part of the concurrent list. Concurrent list means both center and state have domain on it. They can make laws on it. Then next is center should consult the states before making a law on subject in the concurrent list. So this is the procedure of consulting the Chief Minister in appointment of state governors should be prescribed in the Constitution itself. So this we are seeing presently is the recommendation of Punjab. It was also the recommendation of Sarkaria Commission. Governor can't dismiss the Council of Ministers so long as it commands majority in the Assembly. So you just can't dismiss it. If it has to be dismissed, the government, then they have to first prove. If there is majority in the House, then they can't be dismissed. And if they fail to prove, then of course it can be dismissed. Not the discretionary power of the governor. So that is also emphasized by Sarkaria Commission. And it also suggested formation of All India services, which should be further strengthened. So more such services should be created. So this was also a recommendation. So All India services is also part of federal structure of the Constitution. So it brings in federalism with the center's role actually. So here All India services are which? IAS, IPS and Indian Forest Services. So these are appointed by the center but function in the states. So that is why they are called All India services. Other central services, they function for the center only. But All India services are functioning for the states. But the power of appointment removal is there with the center. So these are All India services. So that recommendation is that they should be strengthened. Then next is center should have powers to deploy its armed forces even without the consent of the state. So this also presently we saw in the standing committee meeting also states have agreed yes, center should have a role here even without the consent of the states, what Sarkaria Commission said. And lastly, these are only the important recommendations. One last recommendation here is mentioned. The present division of functions between the Finance Commission and Planning Commission should continue. So this actually is not anymore applicable because Planning Commission has been abolished. Then next is the Punchi Commission recommendation. So this was appointed in 2007. It was a 3-member commission headed by former Chief Justice of India, Punchi. So this was set up by UPA government, the former government, on the interstate relations. It submitted its report in 2010. Here important recommendations are also listed. The 10 most important recommendations as such. They are as follows. So on concurrent list, this is again a repetition of what Sarkaria Commission has also stated, that when concurrent list subjects are being dealt with by the center, a bill is introduced, then states should be consulted. So this is emphasized here. This consultation mechanism, it says, should be through this interstate council, which is presently in use. Then it says center should occupy only that much of subjects in the concurrent list or any other overlapping jurisdiction which is absolutely needed for achieving uniformity of policy in national interest. Then second suggestion was on president's pocket veto. So pocket veto is a power of the president that he can keep the bill pending. So this pocket veto when the governor has sent the bill for president's consideration. So in such cases, president applies pocket veto in several cases. So no communication is given to the states. So states have the bill passed and the governor, when it goes to his assent, he sends to the president sits on it. So it's the Punchi Commission has recommended that there should be a mechanism so that president communicates his decision in reasonable time, say 6 months, like that. Then third recommendation is on treaty making power of union. So there is need for some kind of legislation to regulate the treaty making power of the union. So if there is anything to do with the state list, then there should be greater involvement of states in such treaties. So this example we are seeing the Teesta water sharing agreement too. It's in the state list. Water is under the state list. So of course West Bengal minister, chief minister's role is important here. The state's role is important. So that is there. The next is appointment of chief ministers. So this, it says there should be clear guideline for the appointment of chief ministers so that there is a sort of regulation on discretionary power of the governor. So if there is a pre-poll alliance, it should be treated as one political party because it's already there. So this is there. And if it's a largest pre-poll alliance commanding the largest number or the single largest party with the support of others, they should be called for forming the government. So this actually was not followed as we saw, but this was just a recommendation of Punchi Commission. It's not binding on the central government, but this is the way it should be done as suggested. So this is there. Post-electoral alliances, they should support it from outside. This should be the last in the list of the order in which it goes. So this is the order of preference as such. So this was not followed in the case of Manipur and Goa. Then regarding appointment of governors, Punchi Commission recommended that the person who is slated to be the governor should not have participated in active politics at even local level for at least a couple of years before his appointment. So this is the buffer period also for administrators also and even for politicians, because politicians are also appointed. There should be this buffer period when they are not participating in active politics before being appointed as governor. So this is the Sarkaria Commission's recommendations also re-emphasized here. It says that we note that Sarkaria Commission had also recommended that governor be an eminent person and not belong to the state where he is posted. So if he is posted as a governor in a particular state, he should not be involved in politics in that state. So that way. So this was Sarkaria Commission's recommendation too and reiterated by Punchi Commission. So again another same statement repeated what Punjab also wants presently in the meeting, as it said, what Sarkaria Commission has also said and Punchi Commission has also said, that state chief minister should have a say in appointment of governor. Of course, this has never been followed as such. Then appointment of governor should be entrusted to a committee comprising of Prime Minister, Home Minister, Speaker of Lok Sabha and Chief Minister of the concerned state. So this is a suggestion of how appointment should take place. It says Vice President can also be involved in the process. Then regarding removal of governors, so presently it is doctrine of pleasure of the constitution. So the Punchi Commission has recommended no, doctrine of pleasure should end and should be deleted from the constitution. Governor should not be removed at the whim of central government. Instead, a resolution by state legislature should be there to remove the governor. So the Punchi Commission report has supported the right of the governor to give sanction for prosecution of ministers against the advice of the state government too, as we saw in the Sarkaria Commission too. There should be no provision for impeachment of governor by the state legislature along the same lines as president is impeached by the parliament. So this is the suggestion. Then on governors appointed as chancellor of universities, it says this should be done away with. This is de facto, that chancellor of university is always the governor. Then on Article 355 and 356, that is emergency powers, here it says this should be amended. So this is regarding emergency powers. So the commission has recommended the localizing emergency provisions. Means in localized area, either districts or parts of districts, governor's rule as such can be brought in. So that is there. The duration of such emergency provisions should, however, not be duration of more than 3 months. So this is a suggestion coming forth. So 356 is actually president's rule, but it's talking about governor's rule, because then the governor gets the powers on behalf of the central government. So it's actually de facto governor's rule. Then next about National Integration Council, it says that for internal security, the Punchi Commission has recommended creation of an overriding structure on the lines of US Homeland Security Department. So this is the National Integration Council, which should meet at least once a year. So this has been appointed, but it does not mean once a year. That has not taken place. So in case of communal incidents, a delegation of 5 members of this council should visit the affected area within 2 days. So this, it rejected, it should not be given constitutional status as such. That was not the Bucci Commission's recommendation, but it should be appointed and meet at least once a year. And finally, on the communal violence bill, the Bucci Commission has recommended that this should be amended to allow deployment of central forces without the state's consent. So again, the Sarkaria Commission's recommendation reiterated. So this also shows that from 1983, when Sarkaria Commission was appointed, to 2007, when Bucci Commission was appointed, many suggestions of that commission were not implemented, and they have been reiterated and yet not implemented. So that is there. So this you can see, it says that it should be there without the state's consent. The state consent should not become a hurdle in deployment of central forces in a communal conflagration. So that is also why it has recommended without state's consent. So however, such deployment should only be for a week, and post facto consent should be taken from the state. So this is a safeguard put forth. So that is it. Then the next news item is Teesta waters can't be shared, Mamata. So this is West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee again stating that Teesta waters cannot be shared. We have seen that global warming was also blamed because Teesta's water flow is not predictable. It is seeing lean season and deficit. So that is why even West Bengal cannot ensure glaciers are retreating. So that was a point put forth. And now she has stated that Teesta is very important for West Bengal, but then other transnational rivers are there which flow from West Bengal to Bangladesh. They can be, alternative proposal can be brought forth that would not be resisted. So she says that other transnational rivers can be diverted to attend to Bangladesh's water needs. So this is a suggestion put forth now. Then next, the last news item is Indian team in US for defense technology talks. So this is under the Defense Technology and Trade Initiative which has been started between India and USA. So a defense ministry delegation is now in US to discuss the entire range of cooperation. So we are having many deals also going on, even many cases of jointly working on defense equipments as such. So there are 9 working groups which have been established under DTTI. So they are to promote co-development and co-production of military technologies for use by both the countries. And the latest group which has been set up under this was on the new naval system. So these are sonars and sonobuoys. So these will be used for underwater surveillance as such. So they are of particular interest for India because we want to augment our capabilities in the context of increasing Chinese naval presence in the Indian Ocean. So these are some niche technologies which US can provide to India. So niche technologies mean some specific technologies which can be used for favorably by India. So these are mentioned. So these are the various India-America strategic deals which are there, arms sales in the pipeline too, you can see. So these are mentioned here. So you can see P-8I maritime patrol aircraft. So Navy has already inducted that, 4 more are required. Then C-17 Globemaster 3. These are strategic airlift aircrafts. Then we have the howitzers, ultralight howitzers. These, so after Bofors, now we are going ahead with these ultralight howitzers from USA. Then these are joint projects which we are working on. So Pathfinder projects for co-development under DTTI. This initiative is there. Then only these are the 4 Pathfinder projects are there, but only 2 finalized till now. So that is mentioned. Other 2 are still pending. So this is one C-130 Super Hercules aircraft. This is pending. Then drones also is there, and a joint working group on co-development of jet engines and aircraft carrier technology is also under. Then next is about joint exercises. Joint military exercises also held between India and USA. So this is Malabar, which is the naval exercise, joint naval exercise in which Japan has also joined as such along with India and USA. Then another one is counter-terror exercises like Vajra Prahar, Yudh Abhyas. So these are also India-US joint exercises. And with the Air Force also, Red Flag exercise was conducted in Alaska in 2016. So these are the news items. Thank you.